With us this hour is Joe Imbriano. He is a man who has become very much concerned with all of our well-being, our welfare. His YouTube channel is the Fullerton Informer, so by all means look for that, the Fullerton Informer. His blog, he's got two of them, the FullertonInformer.com and the WiFiDanger.com. Those are both blogs, and Joe is there. He's available, and he was kind enough to join us tonight. 5G, Joe. How much worse than 4G is 5G?
Well, thank you for having me on,
you bet.
Jeff, and nice to talk to everybody out there listening. It's a great question, and you know, when any time they roll something out that's a weapon, the first thing they do is get you used to it in a more innocuous form. And the current technology that's out there now is dangerous. It does cause cancer. The current cellular technology that's been deployed is not nearly as problematic as the 5G. And when we talk about 5G, that really stands for fifth generation wireless.
Uh-huh.
What that refers to is a new spectrum of broadcast that's been opened up by the FCC. There is more of the spectrum higher up in the electromagnetic spectrum, in the millimeter wave band of the electromagnetic spectrum. And they're different electromagnetic waves, in a sense, than what we're currently being exposed to with the current GSM technology.
So this is a whole ramped up new level of invasive microwave weaponry is what it really is. These are weapons.
Yes, they have been developed by the military, and they were developed as weaponry. As a matter of fact, microwaves, Wi-Fi, microwave ovens, they're all from the radar range era.
I remember
radar range growing up.
Litton came out with the first microwave for home use, I think, Litton. And there's
I just remember the radar range growing up, and that's what they used to call microwave ovens, radar ranges, because microwaves were designed to be radar. But this new technology that's actually been around for a long time but is now coming online is what you have exposure to when you go to the airport and you go through the screening process. When TSA takes you through there, that's the body scan, and it does have incredible imaging properties and penetrates things and can see things and can see through things. It also has biological significance, and this frequency band that is being used is very concerning because, number one, the studies on human health, although I believe they exist, they're not readily available to the average person.
They're not going to release them to us? No way.
They're not going to release them to us, but they do exist. They know exactly what this stuff is capable of, and they do know how to deploy it in such a way to make us welcome it and make it an integral part of our lives so where we can't live without it. And that's this new miraculous broadband streaming system that they're setting up.
Mm-hmm. We can't live without it. And we've talked so many times on this program about that. All you have to do is open your eyes. And probably a lot of people listening right now have smartphones, and they use them all the time. That's what we have been taken to and basically created to use and utilize. We're the perfect consumer for this technology.
Yes, that's correct. What they want to do is they want to create another product and another system that requires our addiction and incredible demand that will justify the rollout of ever-increasing dangerous technology.
Mm-hmm.
People are now tired of waiting for a video to download. They want it like in 2 seconds instead of
instant gratification, Joe, and they know it, and that's what they're selling right now. You got it.
But the problem with all of this is that the technology, as you know, is decades ahead of what we're living in terms of what they let us have access to.
Yes.
This new technology, this 5G system that's coming out, they're going to deploy these antennas on all public rights-of-way, telephone poles, power poles, light poles, public buildings. They're going to have transmitters every 500 feet.
In your neighborhood, in your residential neighborhood, because the county, remember, the county or the city always retains an easement on your property for anything they want to put.
That's correct, and the utility companies as well.
Yep.
So what this stuff is going to do is now be closer than ever before. Right now we're being blanketed at a distance from the cellular signals, and people have Wi-Fi in their homes, and that's an entirely different frequency altogether. Real quick, just to get into some numbers here,
Yeah.
The cell phones broadcast anywhere from 900 to 1200 to 1300 megahertz. That's the frequency. And
I remember when the 900 megahertz phone came out, and everybody said, "Wow, yeah, wow, the first cordless home phones, 900 megahertz." Okay.
Yes. Now, Wi-Fi is what's referred to as an unlicensed frequency band. That broadcasts at 2.4 gigahertz, and what that means is the electromagnetic wave oscillates 2.4 billion times a second. The field oscillates that amount of times every second. That frequency just happens to be, and I'm going to throw a term out there, and I want people to understand this. That frequency just happens to be the exact frequency at which the maximum dielectric loss of water begins. Now, that's a big term for basically meaning that the water molecules, the minute they're hit with that exact frequency out of the trillions of frequencies out there, that is the exact one where the water molecules start rotating on their axis to line up with the charge oscillation in the field. And what that does is that causes the water molecules to heat up. But that's a vibration, and that vibrates everything in the human body. And it also results in electromagnetic fields being generated in the body. And when we're full of metals, like the metals that are being sprayed on us from the sky, I'm sure your audience is familiar with the chemical spraying in the sky that's modifying the weather and dropping all kinds of
modifying us.
Modifying us. It's basically getting the metals into us to make us into conductive, reflective parts of the grid. But this is a frequency that has been chosen for Wi-Fi, and they do not require a license to deploy any type of communication systems with this. The FCC says, go to town, make anything you want, you have to keep it below a certain power level, and you can use this frequency. This new Wi-Fi that's coming out, I want to talk about this, and a lot of people may not be aware of this, but there's a new Wi-Fi coming, Jeff, and it's called WiGig. And the new WiGig broadcasts in the millimeter band 60 gigahertz. 60 gigahertz.
My. Not 2.2, 60.
60. So what this means is every molecule has a specific absorption frequency.
Right.
And it just so happens that this frequency they're going to use for the new Wi-Fi is the exact frequency at which the oxygen molecules begin absorbing. Now, they've chosen the oxygen molecule absorption spectrum for the new Wi-Fi. So the current one is using the water molecule dielectric loss point. The new Wi-Fi is using the oxygen molecule absorption spectrum. Now, why is this significant? I'm going to reveal something on your show tonight that your audience may have never heard before. But this is something that they need to understand, and I'm going to put it in simple terms. Your body pulls oxygen out of the air, and it binds to a compound in your blood called hemoglobin. And that is an electromagnetic attraction to those iron molecules. And these oxygen molecules have these little electrons spinning around and around in their orbit. When you hit these oxygen molecules with this electromagnetic frequency, you affect the spin properties, the orbital properties of these electrons. That affects the hemoglobin's ability to bind the oxygen. This is a serious problem because what happens when you're in a field of 60 gigahertz emissions and you're breathing that air, your body is not getting the oxygen that it was created by God to carry to the cells.
So we're going to be, Joe, we're going to be oxygen deficient even more than we are now. We'll be walking around in a daze, semi-sleepy. We know that the inner city oxygen content now drops as low as 16 and 15% sometimes. It should be up around 25. In the country, 35. We're way down. We are an oxygen deficient species now. And you're telling me that this new WiGig is going to make the human body far less able to process and bind with the oxygen that we are able to take in. Is that right?
That's exactly correct, Jeff. And when you think about how the majority of Americans, the majority of the people in the world live and exist today, they live in a closed-up room, a closed-up house, and in most of the year, they're running a heater, which actually...
They're sedentary. They got the heater on. That's right.
And they've got the heater on, and that heater runs on gas, and it burns methane, and that methane combustion pulls oxygen out of the atmosphere in the home, and is not being replaced because people have the heater running with their windows closed at some of these sub-zero temperatures. So they're oxygen deficient from the combustion process of the heating system. Now, if you complicate that with the new Wi-Fi that's coming out, think of what the possibilities for inducing illness are endless. Now,
I cannot believe 60 gigahertz. That's unbelievable. What is the standard for 5G? 2 point what?
Well, Well, no. Right now, there's several different things we're talking about here. Currently, we're in a 4G network in terms of the cell phones, running about 1,200 megahertz. Okay.
Okay. What
happens is you and then Wi-Fi is a different setup altogether. Wi-Fi is a little broadcast system you have in your house that runs at 2.4 gigahertz. So it's 2,400 megahertz. So it's even higher up the spectrum. Now, that's the water molecule frequency. They've chosen the water molecule frequency for Wi-Fi.
No coincidences.
No coincidences. We're made of water. We breathe oxygen. This is a kill grid, Jeff. That's why I'm sounding the alarm that things are going on right now that people are not aware of, and they're bringing this stuff into their homes, and they're not aware of what they're doing. Now, back to the new WiGig that's coming. When people are stuck in their homes running the heater with the windows closed and the heater's burning up all the oxygen in the house, you're going to get a headache. That's why you feel like crap when you run a heater. I don't use a heater in my house. I live in California. We don't really need it. I sleep with the windows open. Oxygen's important. But people, for the most part, are oxygen deficient just by the very nature of the fact that they live in a situation where the heater's eating it up or the pollution's eating it up or the cars are eating it up. We bring this to the table. This is another problem. Then you combine this with the following. We've got smart meters outside. Those are broadcasting. You've got the smart gas meters.
Yeah.
Those are broadcasting. And those things are hooked up to quite a bit of current. They could do all kinds of neat things with those. You've got the cordless phones. You've got the cell phones. You've got this Internet of Things that's coming. So we're going to have people that are oxygen deficient. Now, another thing this stuff does in the millimeter band section, the 5G that's coming out is the cellular grid that's coming out. WiGig is the new Wi-Fi. But the 5G is the new cellular grid, and that is going to use the millimeter wave spectrum as well. It's not going to be specifically 60 gigahertz, but it's going to be up to like 45 and above 70. So the new 5G is going to utilize the same relatively close frequencies to the oxygen molecule absorption frequency. But here's the problem. Those are the crowd control frequencies. Those are the frequencies that have been used and developed by the military to make people collapse, make people hear voices, make people pass out and lose the use of their extremities, burn their skin.
Got it.
And what we're going to have on our hands, Jeff, and I'm postulating this, is I firmly believe this is going to play into the whole scenario, and that is that they're going to induce these bizarre illnesses with these frequency manipulations. Yeah, the allopathic medical system does nothing but manage disease, and they do it with petrochemical poisons called pharmaceuticals. And that's all.
Which a lot of which have, as you know, Joe, fluoride as a base compound in it.
You know, while we're on fluoride, let's talk about fluoride, Jeff.
I mean, if you look at any medication, look at the actual name of it, the generic, and you'll see fluoro, F-L-U-O-R-O, somewhere in the long, it's a huge long word in many of these cases, of this particular medication. Whether it's a psychotropic drug or whatever, you'll see fluoro all the time. Fluoride, go ahead.
Sure, whether it's 5-fluorouracil or any of these serotonin reuptake inhibitors, you've got a massive amount of fluoride composition in these pharmaceuticals. You've got a massive amount of fluoride composition in the toothpaste. It's being added to the water, the sodium fluoride, the sodium monofluorophosphate, and the halide compounds, the bromines, and all these halogen salts that they're adding into the food supply. They're using it as pesticides. They're using it as when you buy these prepackaged sliced apples, it's fluoridated water. But your audience, I can guarantee you, has their third eye intact. And their pineal gland is the third eye, and this pineal gland is under assault by the fluoride. It is under assault.
Oh, they want to knock that out. They don't. Oh, yeah.
They want to knock it out, and so it's all part of it. It's all part of it. So people need to get rid of their fluoride toothpaste. They need to stop. They need to get a reverse osmosis filtration system in their home and filter their water. They need to start eating organic food. They need to try to grow as much as they can. All the pesticides out there are fluoride-based. Most of the food, the processed foods that are in the grocery stores that are prepackaged in these steel plastics are dosed with fluoride water because fluoride. Another interesting thing about fluoride is fluoride's an incredible inhibitor of the Krebs cycle in biological metabolism, and that keeps things from growing and metabolizing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why it's an effective pesticide. That's one of the reasons why it's an effective preservative. But guess what it's doing to you? Aside from all of the pineal gland calcification, it's also preserving and getting you ready for the undertaker in the process.
I didn't know about the Krebs cycle. That's very interesting. It inhibits the Krebs cycle.
That's one of the most basic arguments against water fluoridation. You know, if they were really interested in controlling dental cavities, they would be fluoridating the Coca-Cola, but they're not. They're fluoridating the water, and And that's getting into the crops, that's getting into our food, that's getting into our bodies. The only way to get the fluoride out is to reverse osmosis treat the water. You can spend $150 at Costco and hire a plumber for $100, and you can have all the water you can drink for pennies.
Yeah.
That's the only solution there.
Or if you're on a well, fortunate enough to be on a well.
If you're on a fortunate situation. Majority of people in the United States are unfortunately dependent upon municipal water.
I'll bet 90+% are on municipal water. This is crazy. What's going on? It's so diabolical, Joe. It's totally diabolical.
I wanted to talk about the schools, Jeff, because children are, by the compulsory education laws, required to attend schools, and now they're all required to have an iPad or a Chromebook. And these frequencies that are being used in the iPads and these Chromebooks, this Wi-Fi frequency, there are studies that have been conducted by the military. And there are studies that have been conducted on rats where they apply a microwave transmitter to a rat's abdomen for 15 minutes a day for 15 days, and then they sacrifice the rat and analyze the ovarian reserves of this rat. In some cases, the rat's ovarian reserve or the egg stores in the female rat are down 70%. Now that's a rat, and that's only 2 weeks. Now they put the iPad antenna on the bottom of the iPad for a reason.
Funniest thing, huh? Funniest thing. Where do you put your iPad, ladies? Put it right in your lap.
The little girls do, and the little boys do too. These young children are putting this thing right on their reproductive organs. And if that isn't crazy enough, Jeff, if you go to thefullertoninformer.com, and if you look at the tabs on the top, there's a tab called Apple 666, and if you click on that, it will go into the symbolism of the corporations that are involved in the coming 5G, like Artemis Technology. Their symbol is an inverted uterus. Artemis is also the goddess of fertility. Why would a coming 5G up-and-comer have an inverted uterus as their logo and name their product after the goddess of fertility? That's a really bizarre coincidence. I mean, why don't they call it like supercell generation or something, right? No, this is right in your face. The problem is people are in a situation where they don't understand what's being done to them. And we're running out of time because all of this stuff is already in place. I'm going to go into something in addition to what I just mentioned, and it has to do with the Apple's corporate headquarters in Cupertino, California.
Right.
And on their landscape architecture plans, where they're building this $5 billion headquarters, there are slides that are extremely disturbing that outline what I believe is their attack on human fertility. And these photographs from their landscape architecture slides are direct replicas of what are in the biology textbooks, replicas of the human egg, the human embryo, and a cross-section of the human egg missing a subcellular component that is responsible for a reaction in fertilization that human life can't exist if that part is missing. So, and we're talking about information that's public record. We're talking about studies that are out there. We're talking about pictures that don't lie. And we're talking about a deployment of technologies that are inescapable based on the grip these companies have over the school districts and even our departments of education. And I will tell the readers, just so you know, I don't care how in love you are with your Apple product, they sold their first production computer for $666.66. And I'm not making this up.